do predict the hype is going to go down, and once the hype goes down, it may just so be that you're able to get that quota bag from the boutique very easily. It may just so be that you don't have to play a game to get a bag. Maybe you just have to go into the store and get lucky. Maybe it's that you can go on the pre-love market and actually Birkins are going for less than the retail, because heck guys, if a Jordan used to sell for $5,000 and now it's under $100, the same thing can happen to luxury bags. The same thing can happen. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I've been obsessed with handbags for quite a few years now. It started before my YouTube channel, probably ever, I don't know when it happened guys. Maybe I got sucked into the hype of collecting luxury handbags, because I feel like that was not as much of, it's always been there, but it's not, it really peaked probably the last 2 years or so, and now the trend is kind of going down a bit. In fact, there's more of a trend to rebel against luxury, go for things that are more low-key. Like some people who used to buy Birkins and whatever are now opting for things like Coach. I mean, myself included. Like, there's just this trend now to like steer away from, you know, the chase of buying luxury bags. And I actually came across a video which came in my algorithm the other day called Why Sneakers Are Dead in 2024. And I drew a lot of similarities with the sneakerhead community and the luxury bag community as to why maybe things are changing. YouTube trends actually are very interesting to observe. Gaming has always been one of the biggest trends on YouTube. Probably talking about money is also something that can grow you a lot of money as well on your channel. You know, things like handbags, the luxury community, it's a lot more niche. Also channels like Pokemon card collecting and all that, I've noticed they used to boom a lot more. Now you'll notice a lot of those creators perhaps not getting as much views as they used to. So trends, I think the latest trend at the moment, if you're going to start a channel, what would I talk about if I wasn't going to talk about handbags? Well, it's probably like self-help, development, health is always trending, I would say. Talking about something like that, even like going for like rebelling against luxury brands, I think is a trend at the moment. But collecting handbags and chasing handbags, it's not cool anymore, guys. I'm going to say the trend has gone down, because, I mean, even with my channel, I would say it was growing more rapidly at one point, and now it's kind of like, it's still growing, but it's probably, it wouldn't, I would think if I started my channel, honestly guys, if I started my channel back in like 2015, it could have boomed. It could have boomed. I think I could have boomed in the algorithm, because it was just, I was a little bit too late. I mean, I don't know guys, to be honest, but I do feel like the trend of collecting luxury, it's not like it used to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, for example. And with sneakers as well. I was watching Crew TV, has over like 1 million subscribers. There's a huge sneakerhead community, but I myself got sucked into that trend of collecting sneakers at one point. I did buy some Nike Dunks, and there was one time I lined up for these, like, I think they were like off-white sneakers, and then I ended up selling them, but it wasn't really my style. I definitely got sucked into hype, and I would even say, for example, with Pop Mart toys at the moment, they're very hyped. The Labubu is so hyped. It's just so random how these things become hyped. And for luxury handbags, it's a similar thing. Some styles became hyped, like the Louis Vuitton mini pochette, but now, you know, it's on 24S for less than like the new mini pochette for some reason. Like the hype is gone for that. Perhaps because Louis Vuitton made it too expensive, but perhaps because they made more and so they're easier to get now. You can just go on the Louis Vuitton website and buy one. So people like things that they can't get sometimes. You may have been obsessed with it for like a year, and now that you can get it, you might just be over it. And with sneakers as well, as I said, I gathered a lot of similarities with the sneakerhead community and the luxury community. Quias Omar, who is the creator of the channel Crew TV, was explaining that Jordans, which I don't know anything about sneakers, guys, so the whole lingo with sneakers, I don't speak the language, just like, you know, us in the luxury community, we have our own like language of handbags. I don't understand the sneakerhead language, but Jordans, apparently Jordan 1s, a specific style, went for $5,000 a few years ago, but now you can buy them for less than retail, probably because they keep reissuing the style. They're easier to get. Nike caught up with production and they've released a lot, and so the hype has dwindled on the Jordan 1 now because they're easier to get, and the trend for that has gone. And there are heaps of apparently like original collectors of sneakers who, may have spent 30, 40,000 on specific very rare sneakers, but now those styles have become less valuable because that style has been reissued and they're just easier to get, and they're, Nike have produced a lot more to fulfill every sneakerhead's dream, which for a true sneaker lover, you shouldn't really care about the hype. Like, you should just collect sneakers because you love them. And Quias mentioned that he, from a young age, loved sneakers, and he'll always be a sneakerhead despite the hype or whatever. And it's actually a really good time to be a sneaker fanatic because things are easier to get and the hype is not as there anymore. So you can actually get things that you want. Whereas a few years ago, for resellers, it was a lot more profitable. You could grab stuff and sell it for 10 times the price sometimes or something like that. I've seen a lot of like sneaker reseller stores as well that they glad wrap the shoes and then they resell them for whatever they're worth. But I know that some of those businesses are not doing as well anymore because the hype is not there, and you can go to Foot Locker and buy a rainbow of different Nike Dunks. I think there are still some styles from sneakers that do resell. It's not as much as it was a few years ago, and I've seen that with luxury as well. It's not as much, and although there's still a lot of hype, I would say, with Hermes, with unlocking a Birkin, going on a journey, there's still that. I predict that is going to even phase out soon. I think as Hermes open up more factories, as people also lose interest in luxury or just get over it, as like influencers don't show their Birkins as much as they move on to the next thing, the trend to collect Hermes as well. And I'm somebody who has a lot of Hermes bags, and I started collecting it out of passion, to be honest, not necessarily for the hype of the Birkin, but I love exploring all their kind of random styles. I will say that for someone like me who really loves Hermes, it is actually a good time to be a collector of it because I do predict the hype is going to go down, and once the hype goes down, it may just so be that you're able to get that quota bag from the boutique very easily. It may just so be that you don't have to play a game to get a bag. Maybe you just have to go into the store and get lucky. Maybe it's that you can go on the pre-love market and actually Birkins are going for less than the retail, because heck, guys, if a Jordan used to sell for $5,000 and now it's under $100, the same thing can happen to luxury bags. The same thing can happen. And I mean, maybe not to the extent of the Nike, but it is possible, guys. Imagine in like 20, 30 years, especially when the Birkin has been produced so many times. I mean, Hermes is not going to stop making the Birkin. It would have lost so much rarity because they keep making more. And so it's not a bad thing because it means that everybody who truly loves these things can now get it. And you don't have to give your money to a reseller or something like that. But people who follow hype and only hype things only, well, they're going to probably be selling all their things that they bought for hype because they didn't really want it anyway. And they may have found that, some people have found that they overpaid for things maybe a few years ago. Like maybe you paid, like double the retail for a mini pochette. You paid like 1.5k or something, let's just say, and now you can buy it for 24S for $1,000. That you may look at that and say, damn, like my collection went down in value. And I think that is a sad realization for some bag collectors as well, that we all think that our bag collection could be going up in value in the future, right? And the same for sneakerheads, right? They're collecting these very rare sneakers, but because Nike and these brands, I don't know, guys, but what I've heard from the video is that they keep reissuing old school styles that people have lusted over for years. They keep reissuing it. It makes the value of the original shoes go down, and it means that anyone can get it. And you see with these luxury brands as well, they constantly reissuing bags like the Nano Speedy. Like there was a time where the Murakami multicolor Nano Speedy was going for like a ridiculous amount at one point. I remember a few years ago, the resale price of that was sometimes 4,000 Australian dollars. It was absolutely insane. And I think the resale price of that is still quite high. But now that Louis Vuitton have released a whole different range of Nano Speedies, you can probably get a Nano Speedy for a lot less than that. And the hype is gone because the rarity is gone. So it depends how you look at it, I suppose. If you're a content creator, if you're somebody who makes money off talking about handbags or Pokemon cards or sneakers or something, it's probably a bad thing that the hype is gone, because you're going to have less people, following your channel who follow hype. But at the moment, I've noticed the hype is with like Labubu, like Pop Mart, which is so random. And I just find it so interesting how people like will do anything to get the hottest thing, or to unlock something that is so like idolized. And the Birkin's like that, the Labubu from Pop Mart is like that, and maybe this like Nike shoe at one point was like that as well. But unless you care about hype, it's irrelevant. If you're just an actual true lover or collector of these things, if you just love Pop Mart, just go into Pop Mart and buy any old toy. They have plenty. Same with Hermes. If you love Hermes, guys, go to a consignment store. There is 100 Birkins you can get in Japan. It is not rare. It is nice to get one from the store, but I do feel like it's going to be easier one day, surely, right, guys? Like, don't you think? Like, surely what's happening with the sneakerhead community is also going to happen with Hermes. It's a good thing and a bad thing, to be honest, because if people's Hermes bags then become worth hardly anything, that's kind of sad as well, because there's a bit of a thrill to collecting something that holds value. And I can see a lot of people in the sneakerhead community being disappointed that their collection has devalued and maybe they overpaid in the past. And I think that with less people being interested in bags also comes with the fact that the cost of living has gone up. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world at the moment, and I would say even in Melbourne after lockdown and COVID, a lot of people lost their job. A lot of people being made redundant. Their jobs maybe, especially if you work from home, maybe you got used to working at home and now your job has been sent offshore because it's cheaper to get people from overseas to do your job. Things like that. Your job is like, it's very hard. People have like multiple jobs these days because they need multiple set streams of income because the cost of living is so much. And if you have children as well, there's a lot of uncertainty, and that's why things like, collecting Pokemon cards perhaps, or even sneakers and handbags, there's less of a focus on that because people are just, trying to focus on getting ahead and saving money, which is why I think things like talking about saving money and health at the moment are really trending topics on YouTube. But they're topics that I personally find quite boring. I love the escapism of dreaming and collecting things. Although you have to sometimes come back down to reality, I think I'll always be passionate about collecting something, and handbags is something that I've dedicated so much of my mental capacity towards, and creating content about that is something that I'm truly feel like it's the only place I've been able to truly be myself is on YouTube and express my passion for something. And it's something that even if the hype goes down for handbags, I'll be so thankful if I still have a following and still people who watch me. And even if my channel doesn't go viral ever, or I'm really happy at where it is now, to be honest. I think I'm very lucky, and yeah, I'll be curious to see if the hype really goes down as much as it has for sneakers as it has for handbags. In fact, I would say it kind of has. If you look at other brands, even Chanel, I mean, the hype is definitely probably not there anymore, right? But let me know what your thoughts are as well. Do you care if something is hyped, or will you always be a lover of handbags? Let me know. And were you someone who was once a sneakerhead and now you've kind of gone out of that trend and maybe you're into, collecting Ugg boots or something? Let me know, and thanks for watching my video today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!